Yeah, yeah, yeah. Today we're going to be chewing some groundnut girl. Yes. So yeah, how are you eating your groundnuts? Don't eat it the same boring old ways. Yes. As always, we're going to roast, boil, and fry our groundnuts. Today we're going to do coated groundnuts. So we're going to coat our groundnuts in three basic ways. We're going to do the Nkatie Bogar style. We're going to do the party style, and we're going to do the sugar coated style. So yeah, today we're going to give you three ways you could coat your groundnut. So we're going to kickstart our groundnut coating. Looking at our ingredients, we're going to need groundnut, of course, or peanuts. We're going to have sugar, or it is written you want to use, but you have to use the sugar. So for the first, I'm going to do the sugar coated groundnuts, and yes, I shared this with my dad. So shout out to my dad. Yes. So yes, what he does is mostly the oven baked sugar coated groundnuts. Yes, my dad is a caterer actually. He's a food scientist. So what you need to do is make sure that you need high quality groundnut, which is well cleaned, well the chaff removed from it. Yes, because this type you're not going to be boiled or anything like that. So you need to be careful the type of groundnut you use. You need to get good quality groundnut. And you still can't really charge the quality around here. So when you're doing it, you have to be picking out the bad ones from it. And you sprinkle a bit of water on it just to get it moist so the sugar can stick to the groundnut. So once you have your water in well, your sugar can then go in there. So you need to make sure you rub in your groundnut so well that every part of the groundnut gets a bit of water. Then you add your sugar in bits and you use it to still rub it in. Rub it in. So that is the main idea. You want the sugar to stick onto the groundnut, and the quantity of sugar you're going to use is dependent on you. So once you're done, you're going to spread it out in your tray. If you overly load your tray, you are in trouble. Yes, you don't have to overly load your tray. Your tray has to be well spread because this one, if you do it too much, it will stick onto each other. We don't want it like that. And you want it to cook beautifully and cook well. So you need to spread this out in your tray very, very well. Once this is done, you have to preheat your oven. And I told you could preheat maybe between 270 degrees for about 5-10 minutes just to keep the inside warm before you add in your groundnut. And once it goes in, this should take about 15 to 30 minutes depending on the heat you're using. But if you're using 180 degrees, 20 minutes maximum is okay. But you need to be making sure that you rotate it frequently. So once it goes in for the first 10 minutes, you can leave it in, but then subsequently, after the 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, you may have to go in there to rotate it. By rotation, you move the one which is down up your oven, you move it to the top shelf because there's more heat on top of your oven than at the base. So if you have more sheets in there, you have to be moving it clockwise or anti-clockwise. You need to choose which way you'll be going. And by rotation, you need to make sure that once you're rotating it from one shelf to the other, because of the heat in the oven, you may want to also shake things up in the tray so that each part of it will cook properly and it won't click together. So that is how you go about it. And once it's done, you can package it in your ziplocs and yeah, you can serve it with your small chops, or you can even have it there for your snack to snack on. Another way you could coat your granite, the Nkatie Bogar style, is this. So you pre-cook your granite. Now I've taught how to cook your granite and handle your granite in the granite video I did earlier in this channel. So once you pre-cook it, you have to let this air a bit. So I place it in this tray for it to air up a bit and the water to go off it. So I just cooked it with water and salt just to get it softer because the Nkatie Bogar or the coated ones, you're going to fry for a short period. So if you're using very raw granules, that means your granules will not be cooked. And we don't want to eat part cooked granules. And your granules should take no more than 15 minutes to cook. Don't overly cook your granules. So depending on the quantity you're using. So once that is airing, you just need for your coating, you need flour, you need milk, you need sugar, you need nutmeg or cinnamon, you need salt, and of course you need an egg to help you bind things. So I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients together in one bowl. So the sugar, the salt, the nutmeg, the flour, they all go together. The quantity of sugar you'd want to use is up to you. If you want it more sweet, you can add in more sugar in there. The salt is just going to check the flour so it doesn't take flat. Now in a separate bowl, I'm going to mix my liquid ingredients, which is my milk and my egg. You could decide not to use milk, but I always tell you that I prefer you do things more rich, get more balance in there. So you have your proteins and everything in there. So if you're eating anything, you know that you're eating something which is heavily fortified. So I mix the liquid ingredients. The egg here is just going to help it bind. Now you could just coat your groundnut in the eggs and fry. You could do it like that, or you could do it with the egg and then it goes into the flour, which is going to give you the burger feel. Or you could just mix everything together and just fry at once. So I did the first style, which is the burger style. Nkatie Bogar, snappy snack. They all use this kind of formula. So once you have it, your groundnut in the liquid, you want to drain more of the liquid off it because you don't want it to get into the dried stuff. You just want it to be coated. So I just move it into the flour part. Then I wrap the flour over it. You could use your hands to do it. You could. It's not very mandatory, but I was using a wooden spoon. I didn't want my hands all messed up. Yes, so you rub in your dry flour over it. I always say if you are doing this, make sure you have enough flour. Yes, or else it's going to come out somewhere. You need enough flour over it to get it forming properly. Yes, so like I was saying, just make sure you have enough flour and rub it on properly so that every part of it gets soaked with the flour, or else it's going to be another story. You won't get your burger. And if the flour is not enough, it's going to be clinked together. So you're going to get clumsy Nkatie Bogar. You want your Nkatie Bogar to yield one. You see that thing? You want it coming out single, 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 single. So once that is done, I'm going to just put it out in my tray. But it's also safer to sprinkle in some flour in your tray before you put in your Nkatie Bogar, which is yet to be fried. And as it sits for longer, you realize that the coated granules will start absorbing the moisture around it. So the flour starts absorbing the moisture around it. The egg milk thing we did. So it's good not to let it sit for too long. It's good to fry immediately you do it, or else it's going to get mushy again and stick together. And you preheat your oil, then you fry over medium constant heat. And make sure as you're frying, you are stirring it up so it doesn't cling together. So it's a very simple thing you can do and it's healthy. So don't eat your Nkatie the same way all the time. Bring some change, bring some that thing. So you just need to fry this till it's golden brown enough. And our groundnut is already cooked, so we don't really need so much of the frying. You just want to make sure that the coating around it is cooked as well. That is all. So for a very crunchy groundnut, I would always recommend, once you're done boiling your groundnut, make sure you air dry it or sun dry it to get it dried well. Then you coat it. But if you don't want it too crunchy, you could just air it a little and then coat it and you fry. So once it's brown or golden brown to the color you want, then you just put it down. Now when you fry it hot, it may look a bit white or a bit, yes, but then just let it be. As it sits, it's going to come together beautifully. And sometimes you may not feel so much of the sugar and stuff when you fry it hot, but when it cools down, that is when you begin to feel everything in there. And another thing too is it may not be too crispy when it's hot from the fire. You need to let it cool a bit for it to firm up and you get it very crispy. So the other way you could also go about this is to just mix everything up. So mix your flour, with your dried ingredients. Then you add in your liquid ingredients and mix it all together. Then you put in your groundnuts. Now you could add in pre-cooked groundnuts. Yes, you could use unhusked groundnuts. Any groundnuts you want to use is your preference. Or like I was saying, you could also just do it with the egg and you can fry. So in all cases, yes, you can fry it how you'd want it. The only thing with the mixing the flour, the wet ingredients all together and frying is it's pretty hard for you to get it coming out singles, like one. It's very hard. That one comes out a bit more clingy. Yeah, so that one you just need to be careful with it. You need to know what you're going to get. But if you want the Nkatie Bogar style, the best is to coat it with the egg before you go and coat it with the flour. But if you don't want the Nkatie Bogar type, and you want it this type, then you can just mix everything in together. Or you could just use your egg. But then I think the basic thing you'd want to do is to either coat it with the flour or to mix everything up and then fry. And this is a simple coated groundnut recipe you can do at home. If you have any celebrations, you could do this. If you have your kids going to school, you could just do this as healthy snack for them. So do try this healthy snack recipes and yeah, subscribe, like, and share. Lots of love for my team and I. Mwah.